Hi, I'm John Voelcker from Green Car Reports, and this is the 2012 Honda Civic Hybrid. It's the third generation of Honda's well-known Civic Hybrid. Honda actually has had hybrids in continuous sales since 1999. They beat Toyota to the market by a little bit. And this is the first generation of Civic Hybrid, in fact Honda's first hybrid at all, that uses a lithium-ion battery pack, which is in the front of the trunk. What that means essentially is that for the same amount of energy storage, the battery pack is smaller and lighter. Now, the Civic Hybrid drives like a hybrid, which is to say that when you're behind the wheel, as you slow down, you get to an intersection, the car comes to a stop, the engine actually switches itself off. That's part of the hybrid system. This is not what we call a full hybrid, which means that it can run under electric power. This has to have the engine running to move away from a stoplight, although there are some very, very specific circumstances where for very short periods of time, under very light loads, and maybe if it's a cloudless day, the car will actually run solely on electric power. We observed it doing that for a few seconds at a time at about 35, 36 miles an hour. There are other circumstances, but essentially the electric power supplements engine torque rather than propelling the car entirely. So when you're behind the wheel, it looks just like a standard Honda Civic, but there's some extra displays in the upper part of the dashboard. They've added a power diagram that shows you whether the power is going to or from the battery, whether the engine is on or off, whether the engine is recharging the battery or driving the wheels. This also has an Econ button, just as Honda's Inside Hybrid does. When you press it, it changes the mapping on the car's control software, so the acceleration is a little more muted, and it gets a little bit better mileage at the expense of some performance. We think the Civic Hybrid will do well. We enjoyed our drive, and Honda expects it to be rated by the EPA at 44 miles a gallon city and highway and combined. They hit the triple 44s. That's a significant upgrade on the last Civic Hybrid. So with the concern over gas prices, everybody's interested in better mileage. We think the Civic Hybrid may prove to be a compelling choice. This is actually the most expensive of the entire Honda Civic line.